Today is day 2 of my 110 days challenge, She Maverick challenge. And one of the reasons I'm doing this is to create a platform where I'm as real as that's possible. And what do I mean by that? So for instance, to talk to the camera as if it's, I was going to say a real person, but actually the point of this is not to be the real person, because the monologue is what makes this, at least to me and for me, an invaluable tool for self-expression. But real in the sense that, and therefore that's maybe not the best word to use here, but I haven't got one better one at the moment, is that I do this for me and the you that I have addressed in my very first video, the introduction video, who is essentially someone who doesn't need me, doesn't want anything from me other than to know that I'm doing this. And the fact that I'm doing this, which is very uncomfortable, and it will probably get even more, and then it will get easy, and then there'll be another level of discomfort, and etc., etc. So knowing that there is someone doing this, and the way I'm doing it, and for the reasons that I'm doing it, that's the point of this video, to kind of talk about the reasons, is enough for them to feel supported. And it's a piece about being helpful without helping, which is something I spoke on my other platforms. So it's not me actually reaching out or needing or requiring anyone or anything to validate my helpfulness. And in order to do that, one usually kind of actively goes out of their way to do something for someone, and then they take a tick, whether they do it or, the person does it. But they get that sense that they're being helpful. So I want to be doing, or rather I want to be helpful without any desire to do anything specific for you. You, the one I'm doing this, well, for myself, but then for you too, and anyone else who drives past this particular platform. And yet, so I'm coming to my reasons, and yet, the piece of the audience is kind of intrinsic in this exercise. What I'm saying is that there is a need for recipients. I need to feel like there is someone who will be receiving this, for this to make sense, or rather to be meaningful for me. Because if there is that saying, I think it's a saying or a Japanese proverb or something, I'm not sure, but basically that says, I'm gonna butcher it, so you'll have to just bear with me, but if a tree falls in the woods, it falls, but no one's there to witness it, does it make a sound? Every time I say this, I get shivers. So it's like an existence not witnessed. So the witness is important. Hence this whole distinction about you, who I don't know, I don't ever want to meet, don't want to ever engage necessarily, or can, but I mean, that's not the intention, that's not a desire. But it would be, I would love to know that there is you out there who finds this helpful, without me ever having to speak to you, to receive anything from you, or from you to receive directly from me to you anything, right? That hopefully made sense and was clear enough. Which then brings me to the other piece, which I don't know if I introduced at the beginning, that got me thinking today in particular. I was watching something, and although it was about how to create videos, because I'm learning, technically speaking, very much so, but they were talking also about like this, how you how you present yourself, what do you do, you know. And they said smile. And throughout, as much as you can, naturally, you know, it is 21st century, so I think everyone, you know, would assume that, or would know that the fake smile is just ridiculous, but genuine smile is actually really good. And yet I thought, like a real And for all generators out there, you will know what I mean if you're into human design. Because, and you know, in all fairness, this particular person was talking about smiles as a way of attracting and as a way of, you know, gaining audiences and clients, essentially. Because the money that you need from something that's a business, for something that's your business rather, sorry, comes from other people, obviously, and they need to want to pay you, and they need to like you, and the rest of the reasons why we end up paying money to someone. And although, like I say, it's about business, I think the lines are blurred between business and personal branding, and She Maverick, who's like, I'd like to think, a third category out of the three. So it is personal branding without being branded beyond the Maverick word, as I spoke already about, so I'm not going to go there. And the piece about smiling, or rather the absence of smiling, that I, at this stage in my life, and it's a relatively new stage, last 3 years probably, where I just can't bring myself to smile genuinely anymore. Like in the way that I used to, like just beaming and being buoyant and being all, you know, radiant and all those lovely things and words, well, for a phase in one life. And for the fact that I can't makes me who I am. And yet it goes against all those personal branding and business. This isn't either that, neither of those things, but there is a desire on my end to have warmth and fuzzy is not the word, cozy or something, connection with that you that is not needy of anything from me. And that does bring a smile on my face, genuinely, just literally now as I'm kind of imagining that person without any specifics, just essentially kind of someone very similar to me. Yeah. So the smiles are somewhat contentious for me when they're done as a way of, I'm gonna smile so that people like and enjoy what I do. As if that's the only way to enjoy anything or something. Right, sorry, you'll have to forgive occasionally my grammar or syntax or something. So it's like, I don't know, if you like movies that don't, there was a movie I recently watched and it was The Assistant, yes. So if you know Ozark, the girl, the curly white hair, blonde, I can't remember her name, Ruth from Ozark, right, character, she's the main character in this film, The Assistant. Absolutely kind of nothing happens. It's all very obscure and kind of not even horror, nothing, just like and yet I was glued to it. I just love that when someone's not trying to entertain me. I absolutely love that vibe. And I recently said to someone, actually a client, because I do have a business, astrology and coaching and individuation and all that. You have links on my about page, but who posted something with no smiles, a photo without a smile, and I thought it was stunning, arresting, and that's the kind of poster I would have today. But it's not like how the rock stars or something may be made, even though yes, it still is very beautiful, and I always loved them. But that was more posing, where with this client of mine, it was just felt so genuine, and it was, I'm sure. But yeah, it was just that realness without the smile. And Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it to that. I might just keep this to 10 minutes or under, and I'm not gonna edit or delete even if it's rambling, and I'm trying to figure out how to close this. Yeah, so day 2 done.